What's up? We're back. Systems for Improvisation, week 2, 30-day challenge. I hope you guys are ready for tonight. And I want to welcome you guys. This is BAP. This is Bad Alan Palmer with the UnitedMusicScience.com, United Institute of Music Science and Arts. And you can join for free. It's free to join. And this month we're having a 30-day challenge. It's the 30-day challenge, and we're going over systems for improvisation. Now, if you don't know what systems for improvisation are, they are the laws of music. So we went over, we've been going over the chromatic system, the whole tone system, the trinity of diminished system, and so we've been looking at these and the pentatonics and the 5 elements. We're going to go into that a little bit, maybe if we have time tonight. But don't worry, we're here all month. This is a 30-day challenge. So now, each week, we're doing a new lesson that's on YouTube, and I don't know if it's on Facebook. I hope you guys can type in the chat and let me know if you guys are logging in. But hopefully you guys can see the replay. Don't worry, for our students, the replays will be up for you. Okay. So now, what is the challenge? Now? Each week for the next 30 days, and we have a challenge, okay? And so last week, we had to learn the 4 families in the 3 groups, all right? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back and watch the replay, but you had to learn the 4 families. Now, don't worry if you don't know, like, every scale. Every scale, like, C major, E flat major, G flat major, and A major. That's one of the groups, by the way. Or C minor, E flat minor, G flat minor, or A minor. That's the minor version of the same group, okay? Now, don't worry about learning, like, each one of those scales, right? Then you got, you got dominance. You got, you can invent a scale. A scale is a weight, has a beginning and an ending. But when we talk about systems, we're talking about the systems of music, right? So we're dealing with a lot of symmetrical. We're dealing with symmetrical scales and how to look at them, for improvisation. Okay, so this is the system for improvisation, you guys. So we went over the chromatic system. The chromatic system is everything. That's the mother system, right? Because everything else is going to come from the chromatic scale. It's all of the 12 notes in music. But when we talk about, like the Big Bang, one note, you divide it into an octave. So it's the same note, really. But it's divided, right? So these different frequencies. We're the United, like I say, why you call the United Institute of Music Science and Arts? Well, music is a science. Music is a science, really. It's a science. You're a musician. You're somewhat a scientist. You say, "Oh, no, I'm a performer." Yeah, you're a performer, but you're a scientist. Okay, because we're dealing with frequencies and we're dealing with music, and music is a universal language. Okay, so now, we want this 30-day challenge is to learn the systems for improvisation. So it's pretty simple. So you just got to know it. Now to win a prize, now we're going to have prizes now at the end of this. Now, yeah, we're going to have some prizes, and you guys got to know that if you take these challenges, you might be in the running for one of these great courses that we have on our website, okay? And so, so getting into this, right, you got the chromatic system. You say, oh, it's a chromatic scale, it's 12 notes. It doesn't have a beginning or ending. It's a system. All right. When we talk about the 2 whole tone scales, those are systems for improvisation. And the trinity of diminished. Those are what we talk about, the first 6 symmetrical scales, right? Now, so now let's get into this. Now, last week, if you do the homework, you'll be playing your ass off. You'll be playing. At least you don't have to, like I said, you don't have to know all of the scales, right? but know the system, know the concept, get the concept. All right. So you know, there's three trinity, what we call the trinity of diminished. There's only three diminished scales. Okay. Now this is very important to understand, right? These systems, right? Especially when we talk about the trinity of diminished. You know, we're gonna deep dive into this tonight. And you guys should know this if you've gotten the download that we put out last week. It's directly related to week one, which we talked about the four tonal families in the three groups. Now, when we say the three groups, what are these three groups? They're the trinity of diminished. They're the diminished groups. Okay. So now let's take a look at this. Now, you guys, come on and join me, and you can pull your instruments out